Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about how you can be a more impactful coach by coaching not only with compassion, but also finding the ways that you can help others to uncover and unleash their unique gifts and superpowers. Now you're going to want to stick around because by the end of this video, I want you to walk away with 9 actionable steps that you can do to make a greater impact in others as you are mentoring them and coaching them on how they can discover those unique gifts and superpowers. Now, these strategies, they're the exact ones that I teach you if we were working together one-on-one. If you were here in my office with me and we were working through things, it's packed with tons of practical actions to upgrade your coaching skills and enable you to have tools and utilize things like, proper reflections, meaningful exercises, and proven frameworks to help others that you're coaching unlock their purpose, amplify their impact, and doing so with those unique superpowers. So let me just set the stage by this. I'm going to start by asking a couple of questions to help kind of frame things up for us. Have you ever wondered why some mentors just seem to effortlessly inspire other people while some struggle to create lasting impact, or maybe you feel like you're struggling to create lasting impact? What if the key behind that is, into unlocking someone's true potential isn't having all the answers, but asking, the right questions with genuine care? What if your unique gifts and superpowers are actually the perfect tools to help others discover theirs? And so we want to dive more into that and really uncover what that could look like. Now, my name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder and the author of a book that's called The GIVER Method. I'm going to hold it up here so you can see what it looks like. Got a cool little Superman on it, or super character on it. So the idea being, you could go get access to this thing. It's in the description. I'll have a link to the Amazon page. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all those places. It's an Amazon bestseller, and it's specifically there to help people to transform their lives through things like generosity, discovering their gifts and superpowers, creating more impact and fulfillment and connection with those around them. Like, it is absolutely amazing what it can do for you. And then if you implement it, what you can do in helping others on their journey as well. So if you're a coach or a mentor or anything like that, it's a great book for you to have. It's a great book for you to reference when you're coaching other people. So like I said, I'll include a link in the description for you so that you can get access to it. Now, today I want to walk through those 9. I came up with 9 practical steps that you can do as you're mentoring and utilizing empathy rooted in this idea of what the GIVER method teaches. Now, these strategies will help you coach with compassion and guide, helping you to guide others to tap into their gifts and superpowers and create their own meaningful impact. So as I go through each step or principle, we're going to talk about it. And I'm also going to offer you action items that you could go do, things you could implement to start making a change and seeing that impact right away. So I recommend you grab a piece of paper, open up a note, a journal, whatever that may look like, and jot down your thoughts as we go so that you could start putting those pieces into motion as soon as possible. So before we dive in though, of course, if you are new here, let's make sure, hit subscribe button, ring that bell for notifications. You want to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the content we put out about, developing your gifts and superpowers, creating more impact, having more deeper, more meaningful relationships, stepping to who it is that you're meant to be, any of those things. You can also, after you're done, down in the description, I'll have links so you can go find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, all those places, or at thegivermethod.com if you want to get on our newsletter list and or join our Impact Makers community. So hopefully it gives you a chance to grab a piece of paper, be ready to go, so that we can explore these principles and steps that are going to help you to coach others using things like the GIVER method and the principles that are taught inside of the GIVER method. So the first one, as we start to dive into this, is that you need to begin with empathetic listening. So this is the foundation for any sort of a compassionate coaching that you're looking to do. This is about being fully present and not just hearing the words that are being said, but tuning into the deeper emotions or aspirations or concerns that shape someone else's experiences. This is about creating that safe space where individuals feel valued and understood. Now, when you engage in empathetic listening, you're not only gathering information, but you're building trust and opening doors to honest and meaningful dialogue, which is needed when you are coaching or mentoring somebody. People are more likely to explore their potential when they feel genuinely seen and heard. Now, this approach, is particularly effective because it encourages that sense of belonging. The act of listening empathetically, just sends that powerful message of, you matter to me and what you have to say is important to me. And that sort of validation often involves, or it inspires individuals to take ownership of their own journey and become more open to discovering their, what they're meant to do, what their, impact could be, what their gifts and superpowers could be. Now, it's not about solving their problems, on the spot, but by creating that environment where they can find their own clarity and direction. And to practice that, to really get empathetic listening going, you start by creating those intentional and distraction-free moments. Choose settings where the person you're coaching or mentoring feels comfortable and that they feel they're able to speak freely. Always be using open-ended questions like, what's been the most exciting part of the week for you? Or what's one area where you feel stuck right now? These questions encourage reflection and they really do create that deeper connection with them. Avoid, of course, anytime you're doing any sort of empathetic or active listening, you'll have to avoid interrupting or offering solutions too quickly. Instead, reflect back on what they've said, helping them to feel truly understood. Dedicate time after each session to capture those maybe recurring themes or insights that are coming up, and document those moments where there were energetic, or just you sense that shift that's going on, whether it's in excitement or hesitation or a sense of pride. Like, this gives you such valuable cues to follow up on in the future as you're going through different conversations with them. It also is going to help you to recognize the patterns that reveal what their strengths are, what their untapped potential could be. So, you schedule one focused listening session each week with maybe that mentee or the colleague, whoever you're working with, and then after, spend a few minutes summarizing those key takeaways and noting any areas where you could offer support and guidance. Make this sort of a practice just a regular part of your coaching routine to build on that trust and show ongoing, connection and commitment to their growth. This idea of empathetic listening lays that groundwork for every other step in the coaching process. When people feel heard, they're just more willing to share their fears or their dreams. They're more willing to open up, which paves the way for that more meaningful progress. It deepens your understanding of what their strengths could be, and making your coaching more targeted and more effective with them. Now, the second one is going to be that, you guide self-discovery through reflection. Now, if you've watched any of my videos in the past, that I talk a lot about taking those moments to reflect deeply and identify what things are. So reflective, journaling that you could do is a powerful tool for self-discovery. It allows individuals to pause, to process their thoughts and uncover insights about their values, strengths, and aspirations. You can even go to thegivermethod.com/journals, and I've got templates of a daily journal and a weekly reflection that you could utilize as a part of that. Journaling helps you to clarify what, might otherwise feel vague or undefined, and it helps create that written record of whoever you're coaching, what their personal growth journey is. It's that space where they can explore their own gifts without judgment and begin to see the patterns that are going to illuminate what their superpowers are. When you do this consistently and you have them do that journaling, it's going to create more of that self-awareness for them. It encourages individuals to take a closer look at their own experiences, really identify what truly matters to them. And so this idea, it helps you to articulate, it helps them to articulate what their goals are to you and align actions with whatever core values they may have. And over time, when they journal, it becomes not just a tool for reflection, but a means to build confidence in their abilities. So you want to incorporate journaling as a part of any coaching that you're doing. Start by providing prompts or, encourage introspection. You could ask all sorts of questions like what have you felt the most energized doing recently? Like, what do others often come to you for? You can help them, guide them to identify what those recurring themes are, and encourage them to set aside just 5 to 10 minutes of their day to write out, without overthinking, and get them to see that the key is consistency, not perfection in that. Suggest they keep a journal in a place where they could easily, grab it, a bedside table, a desk, the bag they carry around all the time, and then check in weekly to discuss what their journaling insights were and what reflections they can take from that. Once again, if you go to thegivermethod.com/journals, there's some great examples that you could use there as a part of that coaching. You could use these sort of a session to, connect with their, reflections and to identify what are the action steps they could do. You want to help them to organize these into, things like a gift map or visual representations of their strengths or how they can utilize what they want to accomplish, how they can apply that in different scenarios during their day. Providing that sort of a curated list of prompts that align with what you're coaching them on, especially if you're trying to coach them through things like the GIVER method, you can encourage them to explore, one prompt per day. Schedule a session every few weeks where you review that progress and you celebrate what are their discoveries they've come up with, and identify those areas where growth has been happening. Create that space for them where their shared experiences, and they can share those reflections with you and discuss how these insights are shaping the decisions they're making even. Journaling bridges that gap between that introspection and action, and it transforms abstract thought into really those tangible insights, helping whoever you're coaching to articulate those gifts and what they're trying to do with clarity and confidence. And over time, it builds a strong foundation for personal growth and for purposeful living. Now, the third thing you want to do, and as you work with anybody, is that you want to reframe their challenges as opportunities. And reframing challenges as opportunities is a skill that transforms setbacks into stepping stones for growth. It's about shifting perspective to see those obstacles not as the barriers that could be there, but they're really the catalyst, the springboard for their personal development and for what's to come down the road. This idea helps you to work with the individuals to build their resilience and a proactive mindset, which really does empower them to navigate difficulties with more confidence and creativity. When someone is learning to reframe a challenge, they begin to view themselves as, capable problem solvers rather than victims of circumstance. And that mind shift unlocks what their potential is to grow through their adversity. Now, by focusing on what can be learned or gained from a difficult situation, they strengthen their ability to approach future challenges with optimism and determination. They, help to guide someone in reframing, what they're thinking, asking the questions that encourage them to explore the potential benefits of whatever their situation may be. And then you share those examples of others who have turned setbacks into success, and you help them, you're illustrating to them the power of that perspective. And then you work with them to break those challenges into the manageable parts. Each part, how can we identify the specific actions they can take to address whatever those are? And then this not only makes the challenge feel less daunting, but it also highlights resources that they have and they already possess to navigate it successfully. You help them create, that idea of what's their resilience log, where they document whatever challenges they've had and how they overcame them and what were the lessons that were learned. And that's going to encourage them to revisit it and come back to it during difficult times so they can have a reminder of their growth and capability and ideas that they could do moving forward. And then, of course, follow up with them regularly and celebrate the progress along the way, of how their mindset has been evolving. Because when you reframe challenges, it builds emotional resilience, it encourages a solution-focused mindset, and it really does empower people to see their gifts as tools for navigating both ups and downs and creating, both personal and professional growth for them. Now, the fourth one is all about, you spotlight, identifying how you can spotlight their strengths. Spotlighting someone's strengths is a process of drawing attention to what their natural talents and abilities are, because often individuals overlook their gifts because they just seem so innate, but this is exactly why, the things that make them so unique are just sitting there right in front of them. And so by intentionally recognizing and highlighting these strengths, you help them build confidence and create clarity about what they're able to offer to the world and the impact that they're able to make. This is essential, because it starts to shift the focus from what they lack to what they already have, that abundance thinking, empowering them to embrace their own unique contributions. When any of their strengths are consistently acknowledged, people just begin to see themselves in a new light. They become more open to the opportunities to use those talents and those skills and strengths, and are less likely to shy away from the challenges that arise. So that sort of a clarity, it's not only creates the self-belief, but also helps them to align their choices and actions with their core abilities, leading them to more impactful and fulfilling experiences. When you spotlight someone's strengths, you just start by engaging them in a dialogue about the moments that they've excelled. You can deep dive into questions like, what activities have you lost track of time on? When do you feel the most alive or the most like yourself? Pay attention to the energy in their responses, as it often reveals their passions and their natural talents in so many different ways. When you observe that behavior in different contexts and take note of the moments when they shine, whether it's through problem solving or collaboration or some sort of a creative expression, you identify these strengths, and then it helps you to create that sort of map out what are the strength inventory that you have. And that can be just a simple list, or a more detailed map of the talents that they have, and then how they've demonstrated they've used them in the past. As you share this sort of an inventory with them, and they're able to see that, you can discuss these strengths and how they can be applied in new areas of their life or when different opportunities or challenges may arise. You can reinforce these insights regularly by celebrating those achievements and pointing out how their gifts contributed to those successes along the way. Helping someone to recognize their strengths, it really does transform their perception, their self-perception. it shifts that narrative from self-doubt to self-belief, and it empowers them to embrace whatever their unique abilities are with more confidence. And this newfound clarity enables them to focus their energy on areas where they can make the greatest impact. Our fifth one's about creating vision maps. Vision maps are tools that help people to, imagine the broader impact of what their gifts and superpowers can be. It's about, really guiding them to see what they're capable of, but also how their abilities are going to create value for others who are in their sphere of influence. When vision mapping, it just inspires individuals to just think beyond the current circumstances and explore the full potential of their talents. This process, it builds excitement and motivation as they begin to see their contributions as the larger part of a more meaningful picture. When someone creates that sort of a map, they start to connect their gifts and superpowers with their purpose. Now, this connection provides a ton of clarity about how, the steps they need to take to bring that sort of a vision to life. It creates that sense of accountability as they recognize the importance in their actions, based off when they do achieve their goals. And so you create that vision map and you begin by just brainstorming out, where they imagine different ways their gifts or superpowers could make a difference, and encourage them to visualize their ideal day or think about what success could look like if they embraced those abilities. And then write down these ideas and start organizing them into categories such as, personal growth or professional development or community impact, like just whatever categories are going to feel the most natural to them. Next, help them break that vision into those actionable steps. What if their vision involves mentoring others, like outline what are the actions they could take, joining the mentoring group or hosting workshops or whatever that may look like that they could do to start making that happen. Encourage them to set whatever the short-term goals are that align with their vision so they can experience the small wins that build on that momentum. You create that clear vision and it provides direction and motivation for them. It helps anyone that you're working with align their actions with purpose, ensuring that their the actions and efforts they're doing are meaningful and rewarding. That sort of vision mapping serves as a source of inspiration during challenging times and reminds them of the bigger picture of why their journey actually matters. Now, our sixth one is going to be building supportive feedback loops. So feedback loops are essential for creating any sort of growth. They create that cycle of communication where individuals feel encouraged to build on their strengths while receiving constructive insights that address areas for improvement. Feedback loops, they make sure that progress is just continuous and that the efforts are aligned with those personal and professional goals that they're going to have. When you focus on both what's working and what can be refined, these sort of loops create that balanced approach for growth. The value of feedback lies in the ability to provide that clarity, help people see themselves more objectively, often revealing blind spots or strengths that they hadn't fully recognized. And when you deliver that constructively to them, that feedback creates that trust and reinforces that mindset for continuous improvement. You establish, if you want to establish some sort of a supportive feedback loop, you start by creating regular sessions, regularly scheduled sessions for feedback. You just start by beginning each session by acknowledging whatever the recent achievements are. Highlight maybe what are the specific strengths. This sets that positive tone and starts building the confidence, and then follow it up with what are the constructive suggestions framed as opportunities for growth. Encourage individuals to seek feedback from others as well, such as their peers, their family, mentors, colleagues. Teach them how to ask for feedback in ways that feels empowering. One way I could make this better is, this sort of idea. It not only provides diverse perspectives and reinforces the habit, of seeking input, but, feedback, because feedback loops, they make sure that growth is consistent and intentional. They provide that guidance needed to refine your strengths while addressing the challenges in such a constructive way. By modeling this sort of an idea, you show individuals you're coaching the value of learning from others and embracing feedback as a tool for self-improvement, not looking at it as any sort of an attack. You want to encourage collaboration. So the seventh thing is encourage collaboration for shared growth. Always, collaboration always unlocks opportunities for shared learning. And when individuals work with others, they gain those perspectives for building connections to expand beyond their capacity. Working collaboratively, it also creates that sense of community. It reminds individuals that they don't have to navigate those challenges alone and that their unique strengths can complement the talents of others. This sort of idea, it often leads to greater confidence and a willingness to look for those new opportunities. So to promote that collaboration, guide individuals to identify maybe the groups or communities that are aligned with their goals, and then suggest they join them. How do they join those organizations? How do they attend the networking events? How do they participate in collaborative projects? And encourage them to seek out different mentors and peers who can provide them guidance and support on that. You map out what's my sphere of influence map, my collaboration map, who do I have in my network that I could go to that would help with that. Could include people that they admire, organizations they can contribute to, projects where their gifts could add a lot of value. Just plan the specific actions to initiate these connections, such as reaching out to whoever it is, volunteering for the project, help guide them and give them the push forward to do that. Collaboration, it really does multiply impact for individual gifts. It creates that supportive network, and it encourages accountability and innovation. When you create collaboration, when you really help them to build on that, individuals not only grow their own abilities, but they contribute to the growth of others, which helps you expand whatever your sphere of influence and your ability to make an impact is. Now, of course, you want them to focus on the long term. What's the long-term reflection and growth that they have, so they can look at how they can sustain growth over a period of time, regularly evaluating the progress they've made and celebrating achievements. Like, individuals gain clarity about their journey, and they hopefully find new areas for improvement. As they reflect, it encourages intentionality, helping people to stay aligned with their goals and values. When you focus on it from the long term, it also deepens that self-awareness. So this process ensures that growth is not only consistent, but meaningful. And so encourage individuals to establish what are their reflective routines. We already talked about some of it with journaling and such. It could be a weekly practice, a monthly practice. What are their accomplishments, their challenges, lessons learned? If you want a template for that, go to thegivermethod.com/journals, and it's going to help you with that. These sort of, as you give them sort of prompts guiding them, what worked well this week, what could we have done different next time? These sort of prompts help people to focus their reflection and uncover actual insights they could go do. And then support them in, creating quarterly growth, logs to document where they've come, and then an annual process where they, reflect on whatever it is that they're doing, and then celebrate the milestones along the way. Reflection in this sort of way creates accountability that ensures the growth remains purposeful, and it helps individuals to adapt to new challenges and opportunities. It builds that resilience and inspires that continuous growth. And then, of course, the ninth thing is you celebrate everything along the way, but especially as you see that ripple effect of the impact that it's making. When you celebrate someone's impact, it reinforces the value of their contributions. It helps them to see their actions, creating that positive change, and not just in themselves, but in others as well. It helps them to recognize the broader impact, and it builds confidence and deepens their commitment to share their gifts more. Acknowledging this sort of a ripple effect, it shifts the focus from self-doubt to gratitude about what they're doing. It creates that sense of fulfillment that inspires individuals to continue exploring and sharing their strengths. Encourage them to track feedback and gratitude they receive from others. And, what's the log they have for tracking their ripple, where they document those moments. Use these insights to celebrate any sort of achievements during your coaching sessions that you have with them. Plan what are our ripple celebrations we're going to do, where we can share stories about how our gifts and superpowers have made a difference in others. This could be simple conversations, or more formal things, that you may want to do. Use these sort of celebrations to inspire further action and amplify their sense of purpose. You celebrate those ripple effect moments. Individuals just keep sharing their gifts more and more. It reminds them of the meaningful change that they're creating, and it reinforces the belief in their value of their contributions, and it creates that mindset of gratitude and inspires ongoing growth. Your ability to help others to discover and develop their own gifts and superpowers is one of the most meaningful contributions that you could go make. Each time you support someone in uncovering their own strengths and stepping into their potential, you're not just changing their lives, but you're creating ripples of positive impact that extends so much far beyond that initial moment. Those ripples, they touch families, communities, even future generations, building that legacy of growth and connection and generosity. When you are compassionately coaching, it isn't just about guiding others, it's about transforming the way we approach relationships and influence. And when you apply these sort of practices that we've talked about today, you're creating an environment where trust and encouragement and empowerment can thrive. You're showing others what's possible when they give freely and and it helps them believe in their unique gifts that they can provide to those around them. So as you move forward, I encourage you to start small and intentional. Choose something talked about today in the discussion, whether it's being more of an empathetic listener, or creating a vision map, or building support feedbacks, just whatever it is. Integrate it into your coaching, your mentoring. Start by doing that this week. Reflect on the conversations that you've had and the changes that you see as you do that, and then pay attention to how having a little bit more of a structured approach can, in combination with your own genuine care, it can create those transformations in the lives of those who you're working with. Now, if you're inspired by what we talked about, we explored today, then once again, my book, The GIVER Method, it just dives deeper into these principles. It is that complete framework to discover and develop your gifts and superpowers, to provide value with others more meaningfully, and inspire others to do the same. You can go on to Amazon. I'll have the link in the description that you can go get it right now, as well as you could buy a copy for maybe people you work with and those who closest to you that need that sort of an impact as well. You can also go to thegivermethod.com for more resources, exercises, tools, things like that. You'll find everything you need to continue developing your gifts and guiding others through compassion. Now, if this video message, if it resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. Give us a thumbs up, share this with someone else who may need it. Leave a comment, below about maybe which principle you're most excited to try, or how you've seen these ideas make a difference in your own life. And then let's keep that conversation going and inspire more people to step into their own full potential. Remember, the power of this sort of compassionate coaching isn't just the knowledge you share, it's the way you make others feel that they're seen and supported, and that they're capable of the growth that they have in them. And together, we can create that ripple effect of kindness and growth and empowerment and positive change. And so with that, I'll just say until next time, please just keep growing, keep giving, and let's make it count. Let's, the world's waiting for the gifts that only you can share, and the gifts and superpowers of the people that you could coach could share. Let's make that greater impact and help people step into who they were meant to be. And that way we can invite the universe to pay us all back along the way. So I'll just say with that, have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you in our next video. Have a good one.